When actions become detached from consequences, that's when madness occurs.
Next, we're in West Palm Beach, Florida for the sentencing of David Anthony. The 44-year-old claims the COVID-19 pandemic, in part, pushed him over the edge and into a violent downward spiral.
And my illusion saw the COVID pandemic as an end-of-the-world prophecy, an Armageddon that I felt compelled to escape, no matter the cost.
In March 2020, David Anthony tried to convince his estranged wife, Gretchen, to travel with him to Costa Rica, where he believed they could escape the pandemic. The couple had been separated after 5 years of marriage. Gretchen declined, but a few days later, friends and family believed she went missing. Police went to her home, but there was no sign of her. That's when investigators put in a call to David Anthony.
Hello?
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Anthony claimed Gretchen wasn't missing, but that she was receiving medical attention at a CDC facility.
I spoke with Gretchen today.
You spoke with Gretchen today?
Yeah. Gretchen is receiving treatment for the COVID virus.
Unsatisfied with Anthony's explanation of Gretchen's whereabouts, the investigation continued. And then, a breakthrough. In surveillance footage recovered from Gretchen's home, a dark figure can be seen lurking on her patio. Moments later, out of the camera's view, Gretchen makes a muffled cry for help. Then what's done in the darkness comes to light. In the garage, a man wearing rubber gloves can be seen loading items into Gretchen's car. His back remains to the camera right until this moment. Investigators pull this freeze frame. It is David Anthony, and authorities believe he's just murdered his estranged wife.
Hands off the vehicle!
Days later, police track Anthony, who'd skip town to Las Cruces, New Mexico, and make an arrest.
Am I being detained? You're detained right now, yeah. Watch out.
There's a warrant for your arrest, and I'm going to explain that when we get back to the... Excuse me?
For what?
Homicide.
For who?
Who do you think?
David Anthony was charged with the kidnapping and first-degree murder of Gretchen Anthony, but investigators were still searching for her body.
And what's most important to us right now is to find out where she is.
Yeah, I'd like to be able to tell you where she is.
Okay.
But I don't have that information. I'm going to have to ask her.
Can I have to ask her?
Anthony denied involvement in Gretchen's murder right up until prosecutors offered him a plea agreement. In exchange for disclosing the location of Gretchen's body, the state would lower his charge from first to second-degree murder, which would take the possibility of the death penalty off the table. Anthony agreed to the conditions and immediately changed his tune. Admitting he dumped Gretchen's body in a wooded area near her home after stabbing her to death inside her garage. Police investigated the location and found Gretchen's remains. Now at sentencing, Gretchen's sister faces down David Anthony.
I would like to say some words to the defendant, whose name and being are not worthy of the air we all breathe. You are a monster. One thing is definite. Gretchen believed in karma. And therefore, we can take some comfort knowing that every day you spend in prison will be as horrific as the murder you committed. You can never be forgiven. You are disgusting.
Before the judge delivers his sentence, Anthony addresses the court.
I've created irreparable damage in the worlds of people who love me. Gretchen loved me, loved me, and Gretchen's family loved me. I disgraced my family. I'm hated by some beyond words, and I brought shame upon my name. Some would call for my death, and I can't offer any reasonable argument against that sentiment. Instead of being a man, I chose to be a coward.
The terms of Anthony's sentence were determined at the time of his plea agreement and confirmed by Judge Kirk Volker.
Okay, Mr. Anthony, I sentence you to serve 38 years in the Florida Department of Corrections.
David Anthony was sentenced to 38 years in prison after pleading guilty to the second-degree murder and kidnapping of Gretchen Anthony. He'll be eligible for release when he's 81 years old. Thanks for being a fan of Court Cam. Subscribe to A&E to never miss a new video and catch full episodes on aetv.com.